and you're listening to Media Mornings.
It's November 1st.
Oh yeah, what am I thinking? Last night was Halloween and the trick-or-treaters were out. Media Mornings here on Vancouver Co-op Radio, 100.5 FM CFRO, and we are podcasting at w2media.ca. Now we're broadcasting here live from the heart of the downtown east side on unceded Coast Salish territory. I'm your host today, David Ball, and here in the studio, Molly Huron.
Here I am, bright and early with some leftover Halloween makeup. I still have a beauty mark on.
I didn't dress up last night. I did that all last weekend.
Yeah, it's stretched over the week, this Halloween, isn't it? It's a week-long event.
It was the longest Halloween ever. It was funny, these neighbors came to my house last night, or my brother's house, and they weren't in costume, they were kind of just walking by, but we thought they were trick-or-treaters, so we ran to the door really excited, because nobody had come to get candy, and they were just kind of like normal. And I said, oh look, they're dressed like hipsters, and they laughed uncomfortably.
Hipsters is not a career choice, I saw that ad on the bus.
That's true. Some people find it is, but that's what Portland is for. Alright, so here in the show today we have an exciting preview of a cabaret concert tomorrow night. It's the and we're going to be speaking to Ron Dean Harris, or Oz 12 as he's called. He's going to be hosting this concert and features Kenny Starr and a bunch of other artists. So we'll have him on the program, play some of the music from artists on that show, and also speak to our regular Thursday guest, Charlie Smith. So don't forget you can follow us on Twitter at W2Media. Let's come back with our headlines. Now, our top story today, Canada's prison system is facing scrutiny this week after shocking video evidence depicting the last few months of 19-year-old Ashley Smith's life in the Canadian prison system before her suicide in 2007, while 7 guards watched ordered to not intervene. Aired publicly for the first time yesterday, revealing shocking abuse, including threats to duct tape her face, forcing her to sit in her own feces for hours in shackles, 23-hour isolation in windowless cells, and staff in gas masks drugging her without her consent. The Toronto Star's Diana Zlomzik reports that 32 minutes of footage assembled from several surveillance videos was screened in a Toronto coroner's office at the inquest into her death yesterday. Smith's family says the treatment she endured, what they called a grotesque use of secure isolation, contributed to her fragile state of mind at the time of her death. She was struggling with mental health issues. But federal prison lawyers argued for a motion yesterday asking the coroner to dramatically narrow the inquest scope to examine only the final 7 days of her life in custody. Anything more would turn the inquest into a full-blown inquiry into the operations and management of Correctional Service Canada, which is not permitted, they argued.
This is from Vancouver. This news, police shooting death. More information has been revealed about a man shot dead by Vancouver police Monday night. A witness described him as dressed in black and behaving erratically outside an apartment building on Skeena Street on East Hastings. The Vancouver Courier's Mike Howell reports the residents saw a man outside the main doors at around 8 p.m. jumping up and down and looking under shrubs before smashing a window in the lobby. Moments later, police shot the man, who later died in hospital. The newly created Independent Investigations Office is investigating the shooting. The initial release from the Vancouver Police Department said that an officer was confronted by a man with a knife. The Independent Office made no mention of a knife in 2 media releases. The resident said she did not see the man carrying a knife. A spokesperson for the Independent Office declined to disclose the location of where police shot the man or number of shots fired. This news from the Vancouver Courier.
Also from Vancouver, a 353-unit development on East Hastings Street has been given the green light as the majority of the Vancouver City Council voted to approve a rezoning for the site. Georgia Straits Yoland Cole reports that the vote followed a public hearing earlier this week on 955 East Hastings, that's by Wall Financial Corporation and GVL Architects. Vision Vancouver Councillor Raymond Louie moved the motion, adding some further conditions to the rezoning, which he said were based on points raised by speakers during the public hearing. Council heard from opponents and supporters of the downtown east side development during a 2-night public hearing. Some supporters said the project will provide needed housing to low-income families and seniors living in the area, while opponents called for higher number of welfare rate housing units to be included in the project and raised concerns about the potential impacts of a major development of existing SRO buildings, that's single resident occupancy, and low-income housing stock in the area. The building will include 280 condo units and 70 city-owned units, which will be managed by a non-profit operator.